right there. And so I told them yesterday, and they were like, well, just so you know, that vein that goes from like your thigh down to your ankle is like the worst one to have ablated.
And that's the one you had ablated.
Because I was like, it's kind of still, you know, a little bit bruised. I'm still a little bit numb right here, which is also weird because they go in right here and it hit like a nerve on the front of my leg. So that's weird. So we're still healing. But everything's
on track. So the gummy worm thing.
Just to make you feel better. The doctor also had a bloody eye.
Oh, really?
Just like you.
A subconjunctival hemorrhage is what it was called. So yeah, this has been a health week for us.
Yes.
And then, by the way, for all those who are still on Spider Bite Watch 2025,
they're holding their breath.
Things are going well.
They're in the up and up.
Okay, I think I'm on the up and up. I know that I horrified some folks with some photos of this thing. Delaney was breakfast when that came up yesterday, but it's good. So
she's coming along. Huh?
Things that
Is it scabbed up nicely?
Yes, exactly. I think we're on the upswing.
Did you find the perpetrator?
No, but I've been still Googling and
Did you find out what spiders you found?
I think it was I think it was maybe like a wolf spider or one of those orb weaver, because it was. I Googled images of what those bites can turn out if they're in a sensitive spot, which mine was. IFB situation being resolved as well as we speak. And that's what I think it was. Oh, thank you.
There she is.
And it got way worse.
It's dripping.
It got way worse from there. So those things exploded.
They're very well
It was an open wound, and now they are on the up and up. Sorry about that.
Those wolf spiders are big. I mean, they could probably do some damage.
There was definitely puncturing of the skin for sure.
Anyway,
okay,
let's
this
talk
is
about
so
cool neighborhoods
cool.
in Chicago.
I love the Chicago neighborhoods. There's 77 neighborhoods in Chicago, each of them unique.
Yep.
One of the reasons I've loved running the marathon a couple times is because you go through so many of them.
Yeah, I love that.
And you get to kind of, each one has its own little flavor. And one of them on the northwest side, the neighborhood of Avondale, has recently been named 5th coolest neighborhood, not in the city, in the country.
Whoa,
by Time Out.
That's awesome.
So it's a really cool honor. And think about all the cool neighborhoods throughout the country.
Right.
Avondale comes in at number 5. And so to kick off the show today, we have the alderman of that ward. Alderman, good to see you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. How are you doing today?
Okay.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Anthony Quezada, 5th coolest neighborhood. Your immediate reaction to this honor, sir?
Well, one, I'm just so excited for our beautiful neighborhood of Avondale, and I'm extremely privileged to represent a large portion of Avondale here in the 35th Ward. Avondale is just such a vibrant community, and I'm glad it's getting the recognition that it deserves. This is a neighborhood that is rich in history and in heritage of working class communities, people of Eastern European descent, and people of Latin American descent. And we just have a rich diversity of small businesses, of people, and a beautiful art movement here. So I'm just so elated, and I really want to welcome people from across the city, but across the country and world to come and partake in everything that Avondale has to offer.
Alderman, I have to ask, did you look into what the definition of cool that's used? Like, what makes you guys cool? You mentioned art. Is that part of it?
Definitely. Again, we have an extremely rich art culture. We have murals that that adorn our neighborhood streets, that adorn our highway underpasses, but also our restaurants, our cafes, our bakeries. We've seen an explosion of small businesses here in our main corridors, Milwaukee Avenue, Diversey, and Belmont Avenue. I think a lot of people are really wanting to have that third place, right? That place away from home and a place from work. People are coming to our outdoor patios. They're eating amazing food, and they're enjoying time with one another. And so Avondale, again, has so much to offer, but yeah, this is just such a great honor.
Let's drill down a little bit, because I am, I was in the city for years. I lived up in Andersonville, and so I'm really familiar with kind of the northern neighborhoods. But Avondale, I don't think I really ventured there as often as I should have. But you mentioned some of the cafes and restaurants and patios. Do you mind drilling down for us a little bit and giving us some examples of maybe some of your favorite spots or your friends' favorite spots to kind of plant some seeds in our minds?
Yeah, absolutely. So my office, luckily, is also situated here in Avondale. I'm on the corner of Milwaukee and Central Park. So right next door to my office, we have a Loaf Lounge. I can actually hear them brewing coffee right behind this wall. They have
Yum.
amazing pastries, amazing coffee. They fuel my office and my staff. Right across the street, you have Mother's Ruin, an amazing bar with great restaurant food. There's also The Void, an Italian-American fusion restaurant. You have Central Park Bar that has a beautiful patio that is extremely popular, and I'm sure it's going to be very busy today after work for happy hour. They have an amazing mango habanero slushie. In the evening, people love to go to Alice's Lounge for karaoke, or you'll find, goth and punk dancers at Late Bar, dancing to Lime or, some other great music. We also have Consignment Lounge in the corner of Diversey and near Central Park. There's also a bunch of vintage and thrift shops that adorn Milwaukee Avenue that a lot of people love to go to. And then there's also cultural programming that takes place here year-round. One of our cultural institutions that we have here in the 35th Ward that is squarely situated in Avondale is the Puerto Rican Arts Alliance, which has a wide breadth of cultural programming. They have usually some rotating permanent exhibits. They have youth programming. It's just fantastic. There's also going to be an art fair that's going to be happening, the Avondale Art Show. That's going to be on Friday, October 3rd at the Lost Artists Art Colony at 2630 West Fletcher at 5 p.m. There's a whole list of activities that are always happening here in Avondale, and you can find out more by visiting avondalechicago.org. And then lastly, I'll also say that we also have a very rich culture of grassroots activism. There's a lot of great folks here that are organizing on the ground to defend our neighbors from deportation, to fight for affordable housing, and to fight for social and economic justice. So this is an extremely vibrant community.
Can I ask where you see this community going in the next 5 to 10 years? I'm sure you're thinking about the future. Of course, you just listed all of these wonderful things that you guys have going on now, but do you have any, inkling of what's coming down the road?
Yeah, I think we're people who want to make sure that we hold our community together. And so, I think that there's always the impact of rising costs of living and displacement. We still today have a lot of, elder Polish, migrants that live here. And today we're actually seeing new waves of migration from folks from throughout Latin America. So this is an extremely diverse community. We want to make sure that we maintain our diversity, and that is being reflected again, yet again in our small business and our art. And there's going to be new stories to tell. I think that's the beauty of migration, is that through every wave of migration, there's new expressions, new stories, new experiences. And so we want to make sure that we maintain the cultural diversity, the working class heritage, and to continue supporting, our institutions and small businesses.
You mentioned some of the Latin American storefronts there and fighting deportation efforts. I do want to, before I ask you more about the future of Avondale and the ward there, I have in my notes here that there's some Polish bakeries there as well. And I remember sticking my head into one, I feel like it might have been on Milwaukee Avenue, where there was a bunch of
because I'm thinking about a lot of businesses right now, I just want to make sure that it's the Koroski Sausage Shop.
Ah, okay.
The Koroski Sausage Shop. That's also right around the corner from my office.
It's amazing.
Great bakery, but also sausage goods, and then they also have a hot bar. Yeah, we usually go there for, that's a really tasty and affordable lunch, actually.
It's so cool, too. You feel like you're in, you don't feel like you're in Chicago.
Yeah.
It transports you there. I remember there's big kielbasas and stuff hanging from the ceiling, and it just...
And the smell is amazing.
Yes.
I also want to uplift our oh my goodness. I'm thinking about so many things in Avondale right now. I'm thinking about our basilica, St. Hyacinth Basilica, right around the corner on George Street, just off of Central Park. The St. Hyacinth Basilica is a Catholic basilica. It's an extremely important location for Polish immigrants and Polish Catholics. People from across the city and across Chicagoland come to St. Hyacinth Basilica to practice their faith. But the basilica itself is beautiful. People love to just walk in there, observe the art, smell the incense. And then outside of the basilica, there's actually a bunch of iron doors that have these iron reliefs that, depict depict different biblical stories and different iconography here in Chicago and of the Catholic faith in the Vatican. That is a beautiful institution that I encourage people of all faiths to visit as well.
And as we're talking about the ward itself and the neighborhood, anyone who's going to watch this, if it's shared online across the country, this is the reason when you visit Chicago, you have to get out of downtown. Get away from millennium. I mean, not that downtown's not awesome and Navy Pier and Grant Park and the museums and everything, but you have to get into the neighborhoods like Avondale. All right. I am also told, Alderman, that a number of more apartments were just given the green light in your ward. Am I hearing correctly? Is there development on the horizon?
A number of apartments, you said?
Yeah, Delaney, was that right?
The Black Club Chicago maybe reported that?
How about this? While she's fact-checking me, how is it housing-wise? I know that, like, we've been speaking with our real estate expert about how there are certain pockets of downtown that are kind of coming back. And I think home sales were up with the interest rates down. Give us an idea of livability and the residential piece of the neighborhood.
Well, to go back to your previous point, I completely agree with you. You know, I tell people all the time, come to Chicago, go to downtown, visit the institutions. But if you want culture, if you want to meet the people, if you want to feel the actual true soul of Chicago, go into the neighborhoods. So I definitely want to highlight that. You know, I think the northwest side of Chicago, like many other communities, have seen, impacts due to the cost of living, due to increased rents or, property tax assessments. And so that is, putting a stress on people. And there is that fear and that actual real material impact. So that's why, we fought for ordinances like the Northwest Side Housing Preservation Ordinance so that we can preserve our naturally occurring affordable housing while at the same time making sure that there's development without displacement. People in my community are demanding that we build more affordable housing, and that is one of my main, focuses as an alderman. Just yesterday in the city council, we just passed the ADU ordinance, and so I know that people definitely want to capitalize that here in the Northwest Side, and I'm sure in Avondale as well. A lot of people want to move here. It's a great neighborhood. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to see, and we want to make sure that people can come here, but at the same time, the people who want to stay here can stay here.
Got it. Okay, now I have my facts straight here. So, Block Club is reporting, and this actually may not be in your ward because you don't have all of Avondale, right?
I don't have all of Avondale.
Okay. A 5-story building with 32 apartments right along the Avondale-Irving Park border was just approved. So we're talking about the 4100 block of West Belmont. There's kind of a 1-story industrial building right there, and City Council's paved the way for a 5-story building with 32 units. So, on the up and up, in other words, if it's not in your ward, it might be close by. So that's a good sign.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. But again, I mean, people want to move here. We want people to come here, and we want to make sure that there's enough space for everyone to call this neighborhood home.
I have a question. For families, do you guys have anything special that families do in your neighborhood?
I think a lot of people, we're surrounded by a number of great other neighborhoods as well. I think people go to our local park. We have Avondale Park, which is just off of Drake, and off the highway. There's a pool there. Folks love to go there. People love to, what's that?
I said fun. There's a pool there. That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's an outdoor water feature, so people love to go there. And then, of course, we're right next to Logan Square, so people love to, there's an easy, I think, relationship between Avondale and Logan Square. So there's a lot to do in the surrounding area.
Okay, before we let you go, getting there, what advice do you have? How accessible is it for bikes? And also, if you're taking the L or public transportation, where do you suggest we all go if we want to make a little urban adventure and really explore Avondale?
That's something that we're also extremely proud of here in the 35th Ward. We're investing in bike infrastructure. So Belmont Avenue just got a number of protected bike lanes. Milwaukee Avenue through the Bicentennial Milwaukee Streetscape Project is seeing a number of painted bike lanes and other pedestrian improvements. We're also connected to the Blue Line station. So you can get off at the Belmont Blue Line station. You can take the Belmont bus. You can take the Milwaukee Avenue bus. You can take the Kimball bus to get to Avondale. This is a pedestrian. We want to make this an extremely pedestrian, cyclist, and motorist safe neighborhood, just like every neighborhood across the city deserves to be. But we are an extremely accessible neighborhood, and we invite you to come by very soon.
I hope a lot of people do. Congratulations on this big honor. That's really cool, Alderman.
I have one last
Thank you.
question.
Thank you for making the time to highlight it for all of us.
One last question before you go. If there are people who see this report and they say, I want to get a picture and spread the news about this amazing neighborhood, this cool neighborhood, is there like a spot, a sign, something that's so Avondale that people should take a picture in front of?
You know, there are a number of murals. I think one of my favorite murals is right underneath the Belmont and Kedzie underpass that has the side profile a working class person, and it says Avondale, you know, and I think it says the neighborhood that built Chicago. I think that is a beautiful place. And then right across the street, there's also another mural that says Avondale, and there's also some beautiful iconography there and some colors. So please come and take pictures with our murals, but also, again, patron our small businesses. They need your support.
Great question, by the way.
Yeah.
Alderman Quezada, thank you so much, sir. Really good to see you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Likewise. Be well.
All right, you too. That's really cool. All right, it makes me want to go. You got to check out that sausage shop too, the Polish bakery.
Oh,
really
I bet
cool.
It smells good.
It's really cool. All right, so presumably at some point fall will come.
Sometime.
Proper.
Sure.
So I'm wondering what this is going to do with like the timing on all the leaf changing.
Yeah.
There's some trees in my neighborhood that are turning the corner.
Well, you know, too, it's because it's so dry. I think that kind of stresses the trees out, and then some of them change color too soon. But, you know, looking out our window here, we see a lot of green.
A lot of green.
Yeah.
But coming up, we are going to speak with a travel expert about, let's see, how many, we have a list of the best like leave
in Michigan,
viewing
Illinois.
spots.
Do we have Indiana
yes,
on
Wisconsin, Kettle Moraine, Michigan, some of the quaint towns, and then there's there is apparently this river, this scenic byway. It's a river road here in Illinois. You got to go downstate to get there. But she's going to run us through the best places. We're looking for a little, how about a little like romantic, like, you know, weekend getaway or something like that. See some leaves, maybe go apple picking, you know, the fall stuff.
The fall stuff.
So Janine Tornatore is going to be with us when we come back.
Yeah.
Short break.
We're going to a commercial. Yeah.
Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Mothers
Welcome back, 10:20. So the fall colors, they're coming, and we are in for one of the best parts of the country to take them in. So from Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan. So we are joined by our travel expert, Janine Tornatore. She's here to talk about the best destinations in driving distance for an easy weekend fall color escape and when to go experience peak foliage. Good morning to you, Janine.
Good morning. Yeah, as you guys said, we're not quite there yet. It's still green out, but when they change quickly. So you want to get some of these destinations on your radar, plan those quick weekend getaways, because if you are in this part of the country, it is a shame to miss out on some of these destinations this time of year.
Absolutely. Okay, let's start here in Illinois. What's your advice?
Yes, so my pick here is the one you mentioned, which is called the Great River Road National Scenic Byway. This was actually named by National Geographic as in their 500 drives of a lifetime. It spans 550 miles along Illinois' western border. So you get these amazing, breathtaking views of the banks and bluffs of Mississippi River. And you go through all these small towns that a lot of people right here in Chicago probably haven't been to, like Moline, Quincy, Alton, Cairo. I like the idea of starting your drive in Galena, which is about 3 hours from here. It's a stunning little town as well. And then driving through that. My travel tip for you here, you're seeing here some RV footage. This is a time of year when you want to be out in nature and experience it. Wake up in the morning and have those leaves falling around you. So consider doing an RV trip over the weekend. Sites like RVshare.com make it super easy. They have over 3,000 different kinds of rentals on there. But it's such a great way to experience the fall colors, be out there driving amongst them and camping. But the one thing you should know, if you want to stay at these campgrounds, are actually still pretty popular this time of year. So make sure you're making those plans and reservations in advance.
So you could rent the RV and just pull right in.
Spend the night in there.
Spend the night, easy peasy.
Some glamping, done easy.
Yeah. And I will say a really cool thing if you rent on RVshare.com is they can actually deliver your RV right to your driveway to get started. Or if you're not sure you want to drive on some of those highways, you can actually have it delivered to your campsite, get it all hooked up for you. So then you can go do your drive in your car, but still experience kind of staying out.
Ah, interesting.
Wow. That's so cool. And I see here, it's the second week of October for Illinois for the peak color. Okay, so that's the first. So that's why we're starting there.
Yep.
Mid to late October, we're going to Michigan. So what is happening in the Mitten State?
I mean, Michigan is just, to me, one of the most beautiful states, but there's 19 million acres of forests in Michigan. So in every region of the state, there's beautiful places to visit. You know, we all know those charming towns like New Buffalo, South Haven, Saugatuck. A lot of people go there with their summer homes there and to stay on the Lake Michigan, but they are great places to visit during the fall as well. There's also Michigan's Tunnel of Trees, which is this scenic 20-mile stretch of M119 in Northwest Michigan. It's a historic route. It actually follows an ancient Native American trail along the bluffs of Lake Michigan. That's definitely one you want to do. And then up in Boyne Mountain, which people go skiing at in the winter, they actually have fall chairlift rides, and there's Skybridge, Michigan, which is the world's longest timber towered suspension bridge. Michigan actually has a couple other of these canopy walks that you can take where you're on these suspended bridges, and it's just a really stunning way to take in the fall colors. So yeah, there's a ton of ways to experience it. And that's another one of my tips is you got to get out of the car, right? You got to go hiking and biking and on these suspension bridges and see it from different ways. So make sure that you're not just staying in your car the whole time. Get out and explore and take in those fall colors.
Janine and Caitlin, what I'm realizing right now is it's been way too long since I've seen or heard one of those Tim Allen commercials.
Oh, yeah.
With the music,
the
Pure Michigan. Are they not running those anymore?
I don't know, but don't those just, I mean, you hear those and
they're the best.
Immediately want to get there, right? They really are kind of tug at your emotions.
They do. I'm always like, you know what?
This type of stuff.
No,
okay, but that bridge looked kind of spooky.
It did. So wait, how far a drive would that bridge be? I was like, you know, I've been to Michigan a lot, Janine, but I didn't realize it got so, like the topography got so cool.
The waterfalls.
Yeah,
and
well,
stuff.
if you head up to the Upper Peninsula, I mean, it is just stunning up there. We're kind of seeing shots from all over Michigan here, and it really doesn't matter where you go. There's just really amazing places. Boyne Mountain, where you saw some of those suspension bridge shots and the chairlift rides, that's about a 6-hour drive from here. So that's a little on the further side. But as I mentioned, a lot of those little beach towns along the southwest coast of Lake Michigan, they're stunning as well, and they're only an hour and a half, 2 hours from Chicago.
Traverse City.
And you can do all the things, right, Janine? You like if you want to stay close southwest, the apple picking, the quaint shops, and what you mentioned Saugatuck. What other little towns that are closer to Chicago kind of stand out in your mind?
Yeah, for sure. New Buffalo, South Haven, Saugatuck, St. Joseph, even over in Kalamazoo, there's a lot of great wineries over there, apple orchards, of course, the pumpkin patches. You're gonna find all those great things to do. And it's in a pretty, fairly concentrated area. Once you get over there, you can drive around on all these beautiful country roads. And again, over to New Buffalo, you're talking an hour and a half from Chicago. So definitely very doable.
I did a race one time, I think it was in Traverse City, and there was this really cool, historic, kind of creepy, I think it was a brewery / restaurant. I'll have to look it up and tell you guys what it was called.
I've been there.
Stop. No, you haven't.
Yes.
Where there was like a story about...
And it used to be like an insane asylum?
No, different place.
Because there was a restaurant or brewery. No, we're thinking of the same
Are
place.
you sure?
Traverse City, old time building, like that used to, did it look like an old monastery or something?
The one I'm thinking of was like an old house, and it was something with pumpkin. I will tell you guys, because I'll look it up on the commercial.
Traverse City, beautiful though. Beautiful.
This is my suggestion.
Traverse City is also a really great foodie town. There's lots of up and coming restaurants there, and breweries and wineries. So I love that one to put on your list as well.
Sign up for like a 5K. And then go get you some good food and beer in Traverse City in the fall. That would be such a winning weekend.
Can't miss. All right, we're going to go across the lake now.
Yeah.
Wisconsin. Okay, I'm from the northern suburbs, so this is the most accessible for me personally.
Yeah.
So this is a little selfish. It looks like we're looking at some footage from Kettle Moraine State Park. Tell us more.
Yeah, Kettle Moraine State Park. Yeah, if you're in the northern suburbs, this is not far at all. It's still only around a 2-hour drive from downtown Chicago. And you have the Kettle Moraine Scenic Drive, which is 115 miles that goes through oaks and aspens and beautiful fall colors right through the middle of Kettle Moraine State Park, which has over 50,000 acres and actually traverses 6 Wisconsin counties. And I love Kettle Moraine State Park because this is the kind of place where you can get out of the car and go take in a picnic, go hiking. There's campsites here, biking, there's great places for fishing. So it's just a really fun place to go for a day or overnight. So love this one as well. And it's probably the easiest one if you want that quick escape to get up to Wisconsin. And so again, those are kind of mid-October as well. It's not too far north. Kettle Moraine's more the southern side of the state.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say same time frame as Michigan in terms of those the best foliage viewing windows.
Same latitude.
Pretty much. And, those always can vary a week or two. What's really cool is a lot of these state websites like Travel Wisconsin or Pure Michigan, they all have their own fall color maps, and they really do plot out very nicely in the different areas or regions of the state when you want to go for peak foliage. So definitely go to those tourism websites. They all have their fall color calendars on there.
Okay, so by the way, before I forget, it's called the Jolly Pumpkin Restaurant and Brewery. It's in Traverse City, and it's right next to Peninsula Drive, which I'm sure, Janine, you've heard of Peninsula Drive along the west coast of Michigan, right along the lake. I could imagine that would be extremely beautiful in the fall.
Okay.
And it's called Jolly Pumpkin.
And Sleeping Bear Dunes is right up there, right?
Yes.
That's in that area, correct?
It absolutely is. It's a little bit farther north. It's right up there as well. And there are these great scenic byways. They can be a little bit busier sometimes. The tunnel of trees, you might have to go a little bit slower. But I'm telling you, you get off on any of the country roads in these areas, and they're absolutely stunning this time of year. So definitely check out all 3 of these destinations. And you mentioned Indiana too. There's great places down in Indiana as well. You just really can't go wrong. So that's something to think about over the next 3 to 4 weeks, is getting out, planning a long weekend in these destinations.
For sure. I went to school down in Bloomington, Indiana, and there was a place nearby called Nashville, Indiana, in Brown County. And some of the best fall colors are down there too. That's about a 4 or 5 hour drive to get down that way. Correct, Janine? Any other Indiana
that's about right. It's about a 4-hour drive. And I mean, even walking around the campus in Bloomington is absolutely stunning as well. Just being in some of these small towns during this season is great. Getting your pumpkin spice latte and walking around and enjoying the cooler temps and the fall colors. But certainly when you visit these destinations, you want to check out some of the hiking and biking trails, some of the campsites, as I mentioned, if you want to take in that RV trip. But getting out and really exploring these, it's just a fabulous time of year.
Love it. Love
so
it.
Fun.
I'm inspired to like actually pull the trigger on a weekend plan now.
Yeah, and get an RV while you're
Janine,
at it.
thank you so much for the inspo. We really appreciate your time. Happy fall to you. I hope you have many great adventures.
You as well. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so did we decide, have we been to the same brewery up in Traverse City or no?
No, it was different. Because so this was like a historic house, and I remember it being haunted. It's this Jolly Pumpkin restaurant and brewery.
Okay.
But the house itself, like, it's kind of a museum-ish upstairs, because I guess the wife that lived there may have in the elevator shaft of this house. So like it's supposed to be like this spooky, like, you know, Halloween-esque fall. And when we did do the race and go to this place and have a good beer and a pizza, they were having a wedding in the backyard of this house, and it's right there on the lake, as I mentioned. It was beautiful. I mean, I remember it so clearly, just so fall-esque. Now it is kind of a hike, as she said.
Yeah, it's a hike. It's so worth it though, if you can take a long weekend.
Yeah. Or I wonder if you could take a boat across Lake Michigan still.
They need a ferry.
I think they have one. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
27 miles wide.
Maybe out of Wisconsin.
It'd be so cool.
You
That'd
know?
be so much fun.
A little bit easier.
All right, we hope you are inspired to do something cool this fall. Get out of the city limits. Enjoy these colors. We have a treat when we come back from a short break. What do you get when you combine Matilda with James and the Giant Peach? They're two of my favorite Roald Dahl books of all time. Well, there is a new family-friendly adventure film that is about to hit theaters in a couple of weeks from now on October 17th. It's called Grow, and we are joined in just a few moments by not only the star of the movie, the young star named Priya, but the director, John McPhail. They will join us when we come back.
touch a plant, it's like I can feel what they're feeling.
She's entering the pumpkin contest.
This is all-out vegetable warfare.
You want to steal our secrets?
Release the hounds!
That's unexpected. It's huge. You gotta grow hard or go home.
Now we must show our commitment to the new life that we are creating by having a wee on it.
Oh, that is enough crazy.
I love it.
that's fun.
This is so cute, so fun. Okay, so that was Grow. That was a little commercial for you. It opens in theaters on October 17th. So this is, as Anthony mentioned, a mix of Matilda and James and the Giant Peach. It's a new family-friendly adventure titled Grow. And we are joined by the director, John McPhail, and the star of the movie. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
you. Young little star here. This is Priya Rose Brookwell. Can you tell us first how you came up with the idea, John, to create this Halloween season story about family?
Well, funny enough, it was actually a script that was originally set in America. Our partners at Double Nickel, who are based out in New York, had originally developed it for the US, but we're chatting with Sky in the UK, and they just loved it and redeveloped it for the UK. So there is this actual real sort of internet, sort of cross borders comedy that's in there, because as I say, it started out as an American production.
Yes, that's right.
So all this was filmed over in the UK?
Scotland.
Scotland. and Priya, the star here, you're from Wales, correct?
Yeah.
She just turned 11, by the way, 3 weeks ago. How does it feel to be on the international stage, really, with this new movie right after your 11th birthday, Priya?
Well, it's kind of crazy because I've never done anything like it, and to go from being in commercials and stuff to this massive film, and it's kind of weird, but I think it is a really good film, and I really enjoyed it when I watched it.
Is this what you want to do? Are you just going to be an actress moving forward?
Yes, that's what I've always wanted to do.
When you saw it, I've always been curious to ask actors about this, but when you were filming it and you finally saw the final product, did it match your expectations or did it surprise you in some ways?
Surprised me because there was some because of course there's some scenes that I'm not in, so of course I read them on the script, but I didn't know how they were actually filmed and how they looked, so seeing them was really cool. And of course not everything was actually there, so all the editing.
Oh yeah.
So
looks like there's a lot of special effects.
Yeah, there is. So it's crazy to see all of them because we had to do a bunch of different shots in different ways to make it work.
Wow. Okay, John, so speaking of that, what is it like to direct a film when there aren't things there in real life because they're larger than life, these giant pumpkins?
Oh, well, the pumpkins were real. We made God knows how many pumpkins in the size of them.
Real ones?
Yeah. So in fact, we filmed in a nuclear bunker, and one of the pumpkins was so big we couldn't fit it in the doors of the nuclear bunker.
Amazing.
They're huge.
Yeah, I was just picturing some kind of radioactive pumpkin that grew.
Yeah, radioactive pumpkin in the film.
In the film. I'm getting big-time Roald Dahl vibes from this. This is not a Roald Dahl story, is it? Okay.
No, it's an original story, but Matilda, James and the Giant Peach, those were books and stories I grew up with as a kid and loved. So those were big influences. The Simpsons as well. Simpsons is a massive inspiration. So
I didn't know this.
Yeah. Did you write the script?
I didn't know this.
Did you write the script too?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. You directed it. Oh my God. So how did you become involved in the project then?
Well, when they were looking in the UK for places to film, the producers had come up to Scotland, and I was lucky enough to be invited to pitch for the film. And I just threw everything in the kitchen sink.
Yeah, hey.
They couldn't say no.
All right, Priya, what is it like with your classmates? Are you in school? Do they know that you're in this big movie that's coming out soon?
Yeah, they do. And well, they're very supportive about it, but they don't see me as this
movie star.
Yeah, they see me more as just me. So, well, of course, I've just started. It'd be middle school here, but it's called secondary where we are. So I've got a bunch of new friends as well, so they're quite new to learning that I'm in movies and stuff, but they're also really supportive.
I've got 2 boys, Priya. One of them is 9, the other is 4. How old's your oldest?
6.
6. Okay, so you've seen the movie now.
Yeah.
Can they watch it too?
Are they old enough to watch it? Is it scary?
Yes.
Give us a...
No, it's not really scary. maybe a few parts for really, really young ones, but no, it's a family film for everyone. So.
For everyone.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And this time of year, talk about the timing of this release and what's behind. It seems like it's very Halloween-ish, themed-ish.
Yeah, no, we wanted to make the anti-Halloween movie, something for families at this time of year. You know what it's like. It's all scary movies. So something for the kids, something for the adults, and it really is a proper family film. Like there is jokes in there for everybody.
I could imagine. Okay, so Priya, what was your favorite part about filming this movie? Like, was there a particular day that you were like, this was super fun? So when people watch the movie, they could say, oh, that was her favorite time.
It was the Halloween night.
Oh.
Because we had to wait until it was really dark, and the costumes were absolutely incredible. The costume designers were, like my Halloween costume, I knew what I was going to be, but I never actually saw it until the day, and I was obsessed with it. It was so cool.
Gotta see this.
And, well, it was so fun because it was night. I don't think I'd ever shot that, like, late into night. So it was really fun, because there's one part where we're, like, throwing toilet roll. That was definitely my favorite night.
Oh, you were TPing some trees?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you going to be for Halloween in real life this year? Do you know yet?
No. I'm still trying to think. I've been like searching up loads of ideas, trying to think, because I don't know if I might be going in a group outfit or if I might just be doing one on my own, but I don't know yet.
That middle schoolers
Halloween
do that?
work the same way in Scotland?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I know, like, for example, like, I was like, oh, yeah, of course they got Thanksgiving, you know, everywhere. No. That's
Right,
American.
right.
So tell me about how, is it like one of those things here in the States, we do, you know, the costumes and the trick-or-treating.
We in the UK have jumped on board your Halloween. Like, it used to be, it was very sort of low-key, but you'd still get dressed up and go out. We would call it guising.
Guising?
Yeah.
Oh, like disguising?
Yeah,
like, is that short for disguising?
And you obviously do your trick or treat, but we never used to get candy. It was always fruit and nuts.
Oh, man.
That's sad.
But you've upgraded.
Yeah.
We have now.
Okay, good.
We're getting there with the times.
I think that where we are, it's not, I think it's definitely getting more like America, but my mum's been trick-or-treating in America and she said it's nothing like at home.
Huh.
Because I feel America go all out. It's so cool. I've seen some of the decorations and they're so different, but I think where we are starting to get really cool. I've seen there's this one house last year and it had crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we're starting to get into the proper Halloween spirit. So.
I'm glad to hear that. It feels like it's getting bigger and bigger every year, and when I was growing up, it feels like it was more of like a kid's holiday, but now, I mean, the best parties of the year are you get dressed up now. And now with like Amazon, everyone's ordering these insane decorations for your house. We got like 12-foot
smoke machines and all the things.
The whole thing. John, let me ask you this. What are you hoping that audiences take away from this? Is this more of a comedy? Is it kind of more of a heartfelt family? Is it kind of a combination of those two things?
You know, it's a combination of comedy and drama, and but as I'm saying, it is a proper family film. I wanted for audiences to come to this. I want the parents to forget about the mortgage, forget about the bills, and the kids to forget about the homework. Just come along, go on a mad adventure, and I swear you'll feel so good after it. It's a really, really
Love
good
it.
So you guys are in the States now. This movie comes out October 17th. Are you making your rounds, or are you going to be back at home when this comes out in theaters? What's the plan?
We're going to be back at home, so I can also watch it for the I can watch it with all my friends for the first time, like family and everything.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's very exciting. What about recognizable faces? Because I did see a few on your commercial there. Do you want to name drop a couple people that are going to be in it?
100%. Golda Rochevelle plays Charlie's aunt. And she just knocks out the park. Nick Frost is in it, and Nick Frost is like a hero of mine. It was so funny.
Very funny. Yes.
Such a lovely man. We've got Jeremy Swift as well. Jeremy Swift, who's in Ted Lasso. We've got a lot of sort of big British names. Jane Horrocks, Tim McInerney. Alan Carr turned up, didn't they?
Yeah, that was cool. I was just like, I knew Alan Carr before we filmed it.
Oh.
So it was crazy seeing
That's
him. I was
fun.
just like, oh my gosh. And he was also very funny.
One of the things I love about the film, though, is like every 10 minutes, like this new bunch of madcap characters show up and just like I just derailed the film. It's class.
You guys are in Chicago now. Where's your tour taking you? Are you going like all around the country before you head back over over the pond?
Well, tomorrow we're traveling like in the afternoon, like nighttime kind of. We're traveling to New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been to Scotland. So now we're in Chicago, then tomorrow we're going to New York, and then we're going to London after that. But
Wow, Priya, are you just focused on your studies now when you get home, or are you doing more films right now?
I'm more focusing on like study and stuff because like I
School
said,
just
I just started. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a big difference from like primary to
Secondary.
Oh, I bet.
So,
Yeah, so we call it secondary,
between
yeah.
5th and 6th, you go from primary to secondary? Is that how it works?
Yeah, 6th is the last year in primary, and then we go to secondary, but secondary is literally like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, you're with the high school, like, and
Oh, wow,
all the way
so
through
it's only
12th grade?
2, and then you go to university after
Yeah.
that's what you call it, right? University.
Wow.
You don't call it college, right?
We do. But like you can choose between this thing called sixth form and college. Sixth form, you stay in the school or you go to college and it's like somewhere else, but it's not far. And then you go to university.
Your school must be humongous with all of those kids.
Yeah, I'm okay now. I was getting lost, but I was always trying to lead people, and it worked out most of the time. So other times I kind of got a bit lost.
Wow.
You know what?
Cannot wait
Do you want to tell them about your vault championship as well? Like, Priya's also
A gymnast.
Oh, you
really?
are?
Yeah, I do 20 hours a week.
And did you say vault?
yeah.
Oh, the vault is your thing, not
That's
there's
so
floor
frightening.
bars.
When I
Vault?
see the Olympics and a vault in particular is the scariest looking thing. So
Yeah.
you do that too?
I do all of them.
You do
I
all of them?
I do all of them.
What's your favorite floor move? Like a
Oh.
standing double back tuck.
I can't do that yet.
Twist.
Oh gosh.
Do you know about gymnastics?
I mean, hardly.
I don't know. I've got a few. I like this. It's like a front flip, and then you step out and you do like this round off, like a flip, and then you go full twist.
Wow. Anthony can do that too.
You are a very talented young lady.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good luck. I will for sure be bringing my 2 boys to this. I've gotten the stamp of approval. It's not going to be too scary.
Nope.
Family movie. It's called Grow. It is in theaters on October 17th. Priya Rose Brookwell and John McPhail, thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you
coming.
Safe
for having us.
travels. Can't wait to see it, guys. All right, we're back with more Chicago Now after this.
those
We're
accents.
recovering. We're recovering from Priya saying secondary school.
Their accents don't even seem real. Like, it almost seems like they're just in movies. Do you know what I mean?
I just love it.
And then you hear it in person, and I am obsessed with that child.
Caitlin was like, it just reminds me that everything's okay.
It feels like everything's okay when you listen to that accent. That little British accent. She just made me feel like, okay, wait, I can do this. I can do this. Life is good.
Yeah.
We have those
Things aren't so horrible,
in this world,
right?
Okay?
I love
wow.
it too. All right.
She was darling.
We just loved her.
I'm upset. How can I? Okay.
Kick us off. We
right,
have a very special person waiting for us. Right
Mr. Peter is on the line because spooky season is here, Peter, and Chicago is getting an extra glow this fall. Jack-o'-lantern World is back, carving its way into the record books with 10,000 real pumpkins split between its Lake Zurich and Lamont locations. More than 50 artisans, architects, craftsmen. They're working around the clock to create this massive pumpkin sculpture, including towering 20-foot displays, along with a beer garden. Yes, food trucks, a fun zone for the whole family. Best of all, the event also helps support Gigi's Playhouse. So Peter, oh goodness. How do we pronounce your last name, Peter? Help me out, please.
That's Chicago last name. Starkowitz is how we pronounce it here at Jack-o'-lantern World. But more importantly, in the month of October, I become Pumpkin Pete.
Pumpkin Pete, we'll go with that.
Jack-o'-lantern, as you've said. So Pumpkin Pete will work just fine for the sake of today.
Pumpkin Pete, I want to come to this event. This sounds like fun for the whole family.
Well, yeah, it definitely is. And of course, you're not going to be the only one. We're going to have thousands of people here every day coming out. You know, everything's in thousands out here. We got thousands of pumpkins. We got 1,000-pound pumpkins. And we got thousands of people out here enjoying it, whether it's families, whether it's a date night, whether it's friends just coming out to have fun. That's the beauty of what this is it's not a haunted house where everything's scary and it's only for a select few. This is an event for everybody, and so everyone comes out in here and has a great time appreciating the carvings, the artistic quality, and the fact that everything's handmade. So yeah, it's super exciting to be preparing today.
What does it take to carve a 1,000-pound? Do those even get carved when they get that big?
Yeah, well, that's the special thing about this show is if you go and see a 1,000-pounder anywhere else, they're going to have it behind delineators, behind a fence. You can look at it from afar. Right here, what we do is we actually get 18-inch, 24-inch blades. We cut these things, carve them all up, turn them into beautiful jack-lanterns, and we set them out right in front of people so they can climb on them, they can sit on them, they can enjoy them. And so it really becomes an interactive experience that you're just not going to find, not anywhere else just in Chicago, but probably not really anywhere else in most of the world.
Okay, Pumpkin Pete, I'm looking at your footage here. It looks like it's almost a trail that you walk through. Do you guys have like different stations set up with the food and the beer to stop at along the way? How long is your trail?
Yeah, great. So it's a half-mile trail walk. So it's like the perfect distance where it's just the right length. Okay, we got all sorts of different installations designed by our artists along the way, whether it's the super detailed pumpkins or whether it's displays like I have behind me here, which is Frankenstein. We just call him Frank here for short. And so anyways, and then when we talk about the beer garden and the illuminated pumpkin patch, those are sort of the bookends. It's at the beginning and at the end. And so people like to take you know, a nice brew to carry along with them as they go through the walk. You know, the kids love to get all the light up toys. And so it's really a full experience with the pumpkin patch. You know, right at the end, it's illuminated, which I don't, you know, I go to pumpkin patches with my kids. I've never been to an illuminated one. So we're super excited to bring that here this year. So yeah, a lot of really fun things and a complete experience, really.
I think this looks so cool. I think it'd be so fun to like get a limo or something with some parents and kids. All go out there, have some beer while you're walking the trail. I have to ask you this, Pumpkin Pete, how thick are the walls of a 1,000-pound pumpkin?
Okay, so you might not believe me when I say it, but these pumpkins, they're gonna get 18-inch thick walls. I mean, these things are gigantic. And when these things are growing later in the season, they're drinking 150 gallons of water a day.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I would
So
kill that on
the
accident,
growers
for sure.
that we're getting these pumpkins from are very specialized, and we're getting them from all over the Midwest and the country. In some cases, we're traveling hundreds and hundreds of miles to go pick these up special from the grower. These people are very specialized people who, this is a a year-long hobby to make sure. We have growers who they'll call us in August and say, Pumpkin Pete, I'm sorry, I got worms in mine. I just lost my pumpkin. It was going to be a 1,500 pounder. So it's a labor of love. We go all over the country to bring them here, and it's a really special thing.
Okay, so my question's a twofer for Jack-o'-lantern world.
Okay.
Number one, are we allowed to bring our own snacks and maybe BYOB? And then my second question is, how much are the tickets? How much do they cost? Even though it's for a good cause, I'm just curious so that parents know.
Yeah, no, great. Both really good questions that we'd love to tell everybody. So the question of snacks, of course you can bring your own snacks and that sort of thing. And as well as if you run out of those snacks, the great thing is we got some wonderful food trucks, super popular. The lines are long, so that means that they're popular. They're selling good food. And then in terms of the cost is about $17 to $28, depending on if you're a child, adult, and what day you come. And so really when you compare that to other light show experiences, it's actually a really great price, and we're proud to do that. We're a local company right here in Lake Zurich. We do events all over the country, but we're proud to have these two events in Lake Zurich and Lamont right here in our home city. So
amazing.
It's awesome.
Now, when exactly do they run? From when to when? And I'm guessing, for full effect, you got to wait till it's dark out, and so all these things come to life. But when does it open, and how long do we have to get in on the action?
Okay, so I'm going to answer this in two parts. First of all, we open at sunset, just after, so about 15, 20 minutes after sunset each day. So that changes throughout the month. Right now, that's almost 7 o'clock. As it gets to the later part of the month, it's basically become 6 o'clock. And I said the whole month. That means we're running through the whole month Thursday.
Okay, we're breaking into your programming right now. We'll get you back to Chicago Now just as soon as possible. But we do want to take you back to what is a developing breaking news situation in Broadview. At this point in time, we have been watching protesters outside of the ICE facility here for about three and a half hours. The crowds have been building. We've seen volatility kind of ramp up and then tick down. I'll tell you about some of the things that we're seeing just in the last 5 minutes or so that have really been different from what we've seen earlier. We've seen some pellets used against some of the protesters who were out there. Earlier we were seeing like pepper spray balls that were being shot down into the crowd, and occasionally you will see just a big poof of smoke into the air. These pepper spray balls were being used against the protesters out there. But we've also seen some people being detained. There was a man that was on the ground maybe 3 minutes or so ago that they were detaining. And it looks like each time they have a vehicle that's coming in or out. And just to let you know, if you haven't been with us throughout the morning, we had one group of protesters that were on the front side of the ICE detention facility there in Broadview. They have been meeting there on a regular basis. There's a group that goes out to pray. They've been doing that for many years. There was another group that's been coming out regularly over the last 3 or 4 weeks here. That group comes out throughout the week, but it really ramps up on Fridays. So we saw that group come out right around 7 a.m. That group then began to build, and they split into two. So they were on the front side of the building where we've seen some increased security enhancements. And then that second part of the group went around. This is where we're seeing that second part of the group. They're on the side of 25th Street. This group has been a little bit more active here in this area, and now we're seeing some of the agents. What we were seeing earlier was the agents on top of the buildings, and now as you can see, just as we're zooming in here, the agents right out there in front of the protesters who are out there. And just looking at some of their vests, you can see police, it says DHS on some of their vests. I've seen some others as well. We want to go ahead and bring in Joni Lum, who's been there throughout the morning. What types of things have you seen change since the last time we've talked to you, Joni?
Well, it started out peacefully, as you know, Anita. The protesters were out there doing their thing. They said they didn't provoke any of this pepper pellet gunfire, but they were being shot at. We could hear it, even though we were down the street. We could hear the sound of it on in front of the Broadview ICE facility, and where you're talking about the other action is happening over there at 25th Avenue at Harvard. Someone on our side appeared to be antagonizing the ICE agent who's been patrolling on the roof and firing the pepper balls at the protesters. That person made some gestures, said some things, and then there was a release of more of that spray. I had to retreat back to find cover because the air is just filled with this pepper now. It's not as bad as last week when it seemed like tear gas was in the air that makes you you have a really physical reaction, but you can feel it's like being around pepper. And so there aren't that many people on the street, on Beach Street, where the security fence is, and the ICE agents are on top of the building. But you do see more action over there at 25th and Harvard. Our crew over there reports to me they have a shot of someone being stomped on and then detained. I am told that 2 people here on the scene have been taken into custody, and it looked like a peaceful protest at the beginning, but then with all the pepper spray going on, people are getting tense. The protesters are a little bit tense. As you said, people are putting on more gear to protect themselves from this. But it does, and even when the street was cleared where I was, it seemed like there was still pepper pellets being fired anyway. There's a person sitting in a lawn chair with a mask on. They were fired on, sitting in a lawn chair outside. But as you said, at 25th and Harvard, that's one place where there has been activity. We are told that when vehicles try to get through, as they did this morning, and the protesters surrounded that vehicle, that other vehicles are using another route to get out of here. So it may be a very good distraction so that ICE can transport detainees through different routes.
Yeah, and you know, we're talking particularly or mainly about ICE, but as I've been looking at some of their vests, it does look like there are several different vests out there. I saw one that said ERO, which would be enforcement and removal operations. We've seen some that say DHS, obviously Department of Homeland Security. Are you seeing several different agencies that are out there?
You're right, and you know we say that we refer to these agents as ICE, but some of them just have the word police on their uniforms. So they're not easy to identify. We know they're federal agents, and they're working in this Homeland Security facility, this hub facility. Also, in addition, we've seen more local police on the street. This morning, there were police from nearby Maywood, LaGrange, other suburbs in the area that have come out to help with crowd control and traffic control. Because as the day started, we reported how they have to, there's a busy thoroughfare that goes through here. It comes off the Eisenhower Expressway to 25th Avenue. People are trying to get to work, but they can't use the route through Beach Street. So they had extra police. Pardon me, there's still pepper in the air on hand for that. They're not present right now, though. The local police have the street blocked off, but not as many cars and law enforcement of that type here. But as you said, the people who are in those military uniforms, they are not all clearly identifiable.
Yeah, and just as you were speaking, I saw another one that just said Border Patrol on their vest. Let's talk a little bit about the motives for the protesters who are out there. One of the things that we saw kind of yesterday become an issue was a woman who was outside of a Home Depot who was selling tamales out there. We saw Gabby was at the location earlier this morning where she was detained, and it's believed that she was brought to this Broadview facility. Are you seeing some of the same people come out week to week? Because you've been out there on Fridays for about 4 weeks now. Are you seeing the same people, or are you seeing some people who clearly say, no, I came out because of this today?
A little bit of both. You know, we have seen some of the same people, the elected officials we've talked to this morning. Some of the same protesters who greeted us last week are back again this week. But I've also run into new protesters who saw what was happening and felt compelled compelled to come out here or know that they are not at-risk people, and they tell me this is the least they can do to come here before work or whatever time they have to help beef up the presence because they know what's going on. And the arrest of that tamale vendor has motivated some of the protesters who have come here. We are unable to get any information about her whereabouts. It's assumed she's in this facility being processed, but people who have come here to protest are very upset that that happened to her. They're telling me that they went to the consulate and they tried to appeal there and get some information. They went downtown to the Immigration Customs Enforcement office that's downtown, and they also came out here. They are feeling very emotional about what happened to that woman, a mother of two, single mom, trying to make it by selling tamales, picked up by ICE agents, and right now, people out here at least, we do not know her whereabouts.
Okay, yeah, and so there's a concern for the protesters out there, obviously, some of the people who may be detained there that they are protesting on behalf of, and then obviously what we saw during this week in Dallas for the agents themselves, and maybe that may be even the reason why we see a stepped up enforcement on their level, trying to protect the workers there. So again, we'll be checking in with Joni throughout the day, and we'll have another crew, I'm sure, that will come out to replace her as we go forward in the day. But just stay here for our coverage. We'll have you covered here on air, especially coming up in our midday show and also in our later shows as well, and always online as well. As we'll be streaming Fox Local, we have you covered fully. Stay with us. Again, the noon show will be on coming up in just a bit. We'll return you to Chicago Now for now.
This has been a special report from Fox 32 Chicago.
Thank you so much for joining Chicago Now. We're transitioning now. You saw we were following breaking news. That was out of Broadview, where we know there is an ICE facility there. And you did see it get contentious there between the protesters and, of course, ICE officials. We may have to break into that coverage again right here on our show. And if we do, we'll bring it to you live. But I know you today spent some time in the back of the yards. A tamale vendor was taken into custody by ICE there.
Yeah, I was there all morning. Honestly, it was a rally is what they called for. A lot of her family. It was Laura Murillo. She's from back of the yard. She usually sits at 47th and Western, and she'll sell her fresh, hot tamales to people, and she's been there for years, so she's very well known. Yesterday, around 7:30 a.m. is when she was detained by ICE, and she's from Mexico. She's been here in the U.S. for more than a decade, has no criminal record, and obviously a shock to her friends and family, everyone close by. Actually, as it was happening yesterday morning, she was able to get on the phone with her fiance, and they kind of heard everything go down. He was stuck in traffic. He wasn't able to make it to her in time and, you know, try to de-escalate the situation, if you may. So today they're waiting, hopefully going to get in touch with a lawyer, but they don't know how long she might be in custody for, you know, what's next with her case, just like so many families we're hearing here in Chicagoland. But a very different scene, this rally that I went to this morning in back of the yards. The family actually stepped up, was in her space, and was able to also sell tamales. They sold out by 8 o'clock. Instead of that yelling, chanting as we typically see at a rally just like this here in Broadview, it was a lot different, a lot more peaceful, if you may. Very different than what we're seeing with Joni Lum, and we thank her for her great reporting that she's been doing all morning on Good Day Chicago.
Yeah, she was pepper sprayed earlier and spoke about that experience, which we know we have seen those agents spray those pepper spray balls into the crowd. So, of course, this is a situation that we will follow closely. Not taking this lightly. This is something we will follow no matter what. Of course, our show is a little lighter, but we do understand that serious news is happening elsewhere, and we will take no precautions, and we'll break in definitely when it's necessary. But we do want to talk about what's coming up here on Chicago Now.
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting stuff. We're talking with the Salt and Light Coalition. So they're changing the lives and breaking cycles for people who've been survivors of sex trafficking, helping them through their journey to a healthier life, to healing as well. And then later, we know every year we see bird migrations go everywhere, including here over Chicago. And I didn't realize that us being such a big city, our lights kind of interfere with their migration. So we're bringing an expert on to chat about that.
But first, we got to talk about this. First of all, let me ask you this, Gabby. Can you sing?
No.
Do you consider yourself a soloist, or
you know
would
what?
you be better in a choir?
Tia, if I could sing, everyone should watch out.
Let me hear.
I'd be
You don't have
unstoppable.
any type of.
Well, also I'm like getting over a little cold, so. No.
Oh, that's not bad.
Maybe we could practice.
Okay.
I know you're actually a pretty good singer.
Decent. I won't say pretty good. Maybe if I had honed in on it early like this group is doing, maybe I would have been a star. Who knows? Let's talk to the folks from Uniting Voices Chicago. They are a nonprofit organization. They empower and unite youth from diverse backgrounds to really find their voice. And we're talking about singing. We're talking about being a part of a choir. And here to talk to us about this is Josephine Lee, the president of Uniting Voices Chicago. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And you have a beautiful voice, so don't ever say you can't sing.
All right, well, that's coming from somebody that will know. So I'm gonna, have a little bit more self-esteem. Let's talk about who can join this choir and really how this nonprofit came to be.
Yes, well, I'm incredibly proud of this organization that's been around for nearly 70 years. And Uniting Voices, as you just mentioned, has empowered and united extraordinary youth from our great city and from diverse backgrounds to find their voice and celebrate their common humanity through the transformative power of music. We build mutual respect, compassion, empathy, ambassadorship, and leadership skills by learning about the historical and cultural perspectives from around the world. And boy, do we need that right now more than ever. And as you mentioned, we serve 4,000 students, and how we do that is through 85+ school programs and after-school neighborhood choir programs across the city. People don't realize what started as one choir in 1956 is now a network of over 150 choirs. They sing in 37 languages. They're not only uniting the voices of each other, but of their communities, of our neighborhood, our city, nation, and the world. And we do that for kids ages 6 to 18. They receive rigorous music training 2 times after school. Any child who wants to sing, we want to see you. And we also collaborate with acclaimed artists. This summer, you may have seen us at Lollapalooza with Joe Keery, DJO. Right before the Olivia Rodrigo segment, we traveled all over Italy. We were presented from Varese to Como to Ravello, Porretta Soul Festival. And they're collaborating with Lyric Opera of Chicago this year, as well as the Chicago Symphony Orchestra last year. And so, they get to sing in iconic historic venues, and it's really the pride and joy. And I think it's so important to give every child the opportunity to express themselves. And that's really the mission that's core to what we do every single day.
You know, it is so special, Josephine. I will say, I was able to meet you last year, actually. We were doing a preview of the concert over at Pritzker Pavilion, and it was electric, seeing even just you guys setting up, everyone getting their voices ready. You told me that not a lot of people and a lot of kids get an opportunity to go to a stage like Pritzker Pavilion. What kind of confidence does this build for some of these students?
I mean, lifelong confidence. I mean, they get to, think about the way they conduct themselves in life and they speak. I mean, we have distinguished alumni, who played Diana Ross in Motown the Musical, the first black photographer ever to shoot Rolling Stone magazine, Dana Scruggs. I mean, she's just killing it around the world. We have an alum, Dr. Michael Priestley, who started our chapter outside of Chicago in Lexington. I just got back from Lexington, Uniting Voices Lexington. I mean, it has been a model for so many doctors, lawyers, scientists. I mean, and it's about the languages and the cultures and the history and the collaborations, cross neighborhoods, and the global network, quite frankly, that we are creating for our young people. And this was founded in Chicago. It has been a model for organizations across the nation and the world. And I think it's so important for us to be proud of our youth. In light of everything that's going on, it's so divided, everything is polarized, and I mean, this is what's good. We have to invest in our young people, and we have to uplift them. And what better way to heal their souls than through the power of song?
Josephine, we can tell how passionate you are about this. We've covered the stories here, on the news side of, schools having to cut some of their music programs and not being able to keep those going. How important is it for some of these schools? I'm guessing in some of these communities, they may not even have a music program.
That's right. And that is true. And that's where we do everything we can to give the opportunity to our young people, not only to have the partnership, our school partnerships, as I mentioned earlier, in 85+ schools, but also for them to then join our neighborhood choirs, our after-school programs. People don't realize, they always see the top Voice of Chicago kids who travel internationally and sing on this stage, but it's actually the network that we have from Hyde Park, where we were founded, Beverly, off the Street Club in Garfield Park, Humboldt Park, Pilsen, Albany Park, Lincoln Park, Rogers Park, Westtown. I mean, it's reflecting the demographic of our city, and not to mention the 2 citywide programs that meet at the Cultural Center, the People's Palace, right? This is a space where every child can find their voice. They can dance, they can sing, and also learning the tools, techniques, the foundation, and not to ultimately become a musician. Of course, if they did and they're lifelong musicians, perfect, but it's finding those skills of collaboration, the executive functioning skills, to be able to, and to meet kids that are not in your neighborhood. What a beautiful way we do this. We do this through our holiday concert at Winter Glow. We're going to be at Symphony Center, bringing all of our after-school kids together. Our Black History concert series at Auditorium Theater. 3,000 of them are going to show up. We're going to be at the Metro Chicago January 25th. You want to sing a solo? Come on and sing a solo on the iconic stage. Then we have our, citywide event at Paint the Town Red. We had it at Millennium Park, but because of construction, this year we're going to Navy Pier. And then they get to perform again with at the Civic Opera House with the Lyric Opera Chicago, collaborate with artists like Carol G or Joe Curie or Chance, whoever it is. I mean, this is your space. If your child has a voice and wants to learn languages and cultures and history, come. We are ready to welcome you with open arms. And I want everyone to know there's no financial, impediment. It's very important for parents to know that, we are here to support you. And because you need a village to raise the children, don't we? And we are here for it.
And I guess that's my next question. What do parents need to know if they're interested in having their kids join Uniting Voices?
Yes, well, visit unitingvoiceschicago.org, and we make our programs accessible for every family, every child. So they get to travel. We have our Bridging America tours, and last year I said we were in Italy in July, and of course in Egypt, and this year we're going to India, and we have plans to visit the Dalai Lama. And some of you who were around in 2006, I music directed the first public talks for the Dalai Lama at Pritzker Pavilion, and it was a very historic moment. And so our kids get to serve as ambassadors, not only of our city, but our nation and the world. And this is what's good. That is happening in our great city.
Registration is now open. When does it close?
It's rolling throughout the entire year.
I love that. Okay.
Josephine, you are so awesome. I'm now remembering you are so fabulous right now, but you're even more fabulous in person. You had, I think, hurt your ankle or something, but you were still rolling around the stage with your little scooter, dressed to the nines.
You could see that now.
And directing everyone like a pro. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Tia.
I could see that. I could see it right now.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Love, love, love you. Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure.
All right.
For sure.
Chat later.
That was fun.
She is, I'm telling you, she's a ball of energy.
You can
As
tell.
you can see, she's passionate. She's talking with her hands, but also such a great program. I remember speaking with some of the students, and very bright, confident, excited to be there, had made friends with everyone in the city. Oh, it was awesome.
It's always nice to have someone on the show that their energy is so infectious that it brings you up. Because we were talking about something that was really serious, but once we started talking to her, I don't know about you, but my energy just felt different.
I agree.
Lifted, light.
I agree. And I have a feeling that this next guest that we're going to have, Salt and Light Coalition, is joining us right after this break.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. We are joined with some guests that are going to talk about a really serious topic, but they're doing their part to really change the statistics. And we're talking about sex trafficking in our community. And here to talk more about this is Dr. Isabel Olson. She's the founder and CEO of Salt and Light Coalition, and Christina Sansone, the program assistant. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
You know, sex trafficking, we've definitely done our share of stories. It seems to be a beat that I'm frequently on. How big of a problem is it here in our community?
So UIC has a study that 25,000 women are trafficked every year in Chicago, and 62% of them are under the age of 18. So it's a pretty big problem, and people are not aware. They think that these women are being smuggled into the country, but 50% are born right here and raised right here. And so it's a huge problem that we see every day, and it's almost like we're in our bubble and we don't see it, you know, so we don't think it's happening.
Right.
So, Isabel, you says here that you spent some time volunteering at the Cook County Jail program, and that inspired you to start Salt and Light Coalition.
Yeah.
How did it come about?
So I was volunteering there, teaching yoga, and after 2 years, I found out that 70% of the women at the Cook County Jail had been trafficked at some point in their lives. And as an academic, I asked myself, wow, this is a very high correlation. Why is this happening? What are they doing about it? And upon some research, I realized that people were, you know, removing women from trafficking situations, but there is no program in Chicago that would help them after the fact. And what happens is the majority will return, 80% will return into trafficking because if there's no intervention. Why? Because they have no resources. They didn't get an opportunity to get their education as they're being trafficked so young. And so that's when we come in and we try to make a difference.
Christina, I know you're part of this program now and part of the nonprofit. Tell us what made you decide that you wanted to step up and really be a part of fixing the problem here.
Well, it started with me wanting to be able to help girls that were like me. You know, it can be a very lonesome process, and being with women who've gone through what you've gone through, it really helps the healing process.
Yeah, it says that you're a survivor here and now a program leader. And that's very inspiring, so thank you for coming on and sharing your story. Talk about how participating in Salt and Light's empowerment program changed your life, and what does it mean to you today?
So the empowerment program, oh my gosh, where do I start? It changed my life dramatically. So I wake up now every day with a purpose, with confidence, and it empowered me so much that I can give it to others now. And thriving, wow. So for me, it's having a purpose. I now wake up with a purpose. I now walk with confidence, and that's truly thriving to me.
You know, Dr. Olson, being a person that has covered this so many different times in our community, one of the things that I've heard over and over again is in this situation, it almost feels like for the woman, they feel trapped. They feel like there's nowhere else to turn but to this person that has them in this position. Talk about what happens as soon as you meet a victim. Kind of walk us through what services you then step in and provide.
Yeah, so we start with equip. We have 3 phases in our program: equip, empower, thrive. In the equip phase, we focus on the self. So a lot of times women that have been trafficked, they've been told how to dress, how to speak, how to think. And so this is the first time that they're asked, who do you want to be? How do you want to live your life? How do you want to dress? And so we do a lot of groups. We have yoga so that they, you know, create other coping mechanisms for their mental health. We teach them how to cook. And then we start a workforce development program where they're trained to go into workplaces and be economically empowered. And finally, in the Thrive piece, we have our graduates, and they meet with us every week. They can come in and we have open door mentoring, which keeps them engaged, and the people that stay engaged with us also make more money, which is really cool. And so we really kind of stay connected with them forever. And the cool thing is that we're seeing a ripple effect where the women that are graduating are now impacting their communities and their children and their families. And so it's just really cool to see, because we're not only impacting the woman but the community.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
You know, thank you for what you guys do, and thank you now for going into the community and helping others. I have to ask you, through the whole program, was there a certain point, like even if it is, you know, the cooking or if it's the mentorship, what was most impactful for you that maybe surprised you the most?
The devotions, the real healing aspect, the meat of the program. You know, I didn't think that I'd want to talk and that I'd want to be vulnerable with a group of women I've never met, but that helped a lot.
Let's talk about this Saturday, because you have a critical fundraiser that's going on. You are a nonprofit, so to keep going, you need funds. Let's talk about this gala that you have.
So last year, we were serving 40 women a year, and we promised that this year we would be serving 160. We have already done that, so we are serving 160 women a year now, and our goal now is to go into 240. So we're having a big gala. Sophie Tucker, the Grammy-winning duo, will be there, will be DJing for us later, and we're just very, very, very excited. Hopefully we're gonna get to our goal, which is $1 million, so that we can go on to serve 240 women. And if you can't make it, it's at the Drake at 7 p.m. tomorrow, but if you can't make it, there's a silent auction online, so Google www.SaltLikeCoalition and grab some items.
I love that you're doing this, because you mentioned the economic part, and I think sometimes people get lost in this, in understanding that that's how the control happens too.
Exactly.
It's controlling the funds, controlling being able to leave, controlling being able to have a place to stay, controlling being able to eat.
That's right.
So that's a huge part of it.
Yeah. So again, if people can't make it tomorrow, what are some other ways throughout the year, even if it isn't with the Radiate Gala, how can they help spread the message, you know, do more for survivors of sex trafficking?
So one of the cool things about our organization is that like our workforce development program is fully taught by our volunteers. And so we have high caliber volunteers. I am a volunteer CEO myself. And if you'd like to volunteer, we can utilize you. Please go on our website. Let us know you want to volunteer, because we can utilize that. Donate. You can donate clothes, you can donate money. Just help us support the women of Chicago.
What would be your message? There may be somebody that may come across this video, and maybe they are in this situation, and maybe, you know, they haven't been able to yell, I need to get out of this. What would be your message to them of how to break free? Because I think some of it is in the mind too. What would be your messages?
Just know that there are people out there waiting to love you. And if right now is not the time, we're here waiting for you.
Yeah. I would recommend this person call the hotline from Polaris. They are very, very well versed. They are not the police, and they have all the resources. They can connect you with us. So please get help. You can get out of this. You don't need anyone. You can be independent, and you can be empowered, and you can live a thriving life and be extremely and be extremely successful. So we just hope that you get to those resources and come to us.
Are you guys active on social media? Are you posting, you know, new events or new ways that people can help support you? And if so, can you please share where they can find you online?
Of course, at Salt and Light Coalition on Instagram, or Salt and Light Coalition on LinkedIn. We are definitely online, and we always have events, and we would love all of the help we can get.
I would love to come and do a story with you guys if you're open to it.
Yeah,
for
please.
sure.
Thank you so much. Again, Salt and Light Coalition, Radiate Gala happening tomorrow at the Drake. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate it. Okay, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back to Chicago Now. We're going to be switching gears a little bit, bring up the energy because we have a Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter, Joss Stone, who rose into fame in the early 2000s, 2004, with her album Mind, Body, and Soul. I remember that. She's known for her vocal range and soulfulness, and she's been back at it, and she's coming to a place near us. Good morning, Joss. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's lovely to see you both.
Okay, so I have to ask, your new tour is called Less is More and aims to create a living room style intimacy. What inspired you to do this kind of stripped down version and change your connection with the audience?
You know what? It was that I became pregnant. I was pregnant with my daughter Nalima, and I thought, oh my God, how am I going to run around the stage? I'm going to be massive. And I thought, do you know what? Let's go world tour style, wheel in some sofas. I had a nice cup of tea. I got my girl singing the backing vocals, and it was like, it was so calm, and it was just lovely. And then people just really liked it, so I thought, let me keep doing that for a bit. So now Nalima is on the other side of my stomach, so she's here, and she knows all the words, which is great.
I love that. You are so cute. You're making me feel calm.
Because I'm not gonna kid. When I heard less is more, I thought sexy, seductive. Less clothes is what I thought. I'm just being honest with you.
Less instrumentation.
I love that.
Yeah, so it was just, we just wanted to do an acoustic thing, you know, like take away all the noise that I often love. I love a lot of noise, I have to say. And we just stripped it all out, and then, yeah, it's almost like we're having a chat with the audience. And sometimes the audience talk back to me, and I make a nice cup of tea for one of them, and we just talk and like sing some beautiful songs. And it's funny how if you break it all down, the song is still there. It can get very intense because we as spirits can be big, but it's actually just calm and loving. I love it. I really like this way of touring.
So what is like some of your songs? Where are you pulling the inspiration from? Is it from your daughter? Is it from day-to-day living?
Well, the songs that I've been writing recently, they can be often about the kids, but I want the kids, if they hear it, to be inspired by it. And I think I've sort of written like that for my life, because often I write with women in mind, and relationships are everything. You know, I did a podcast called A Cup of Happy, and I'm now doing a new version of it called A Cup of Love. And the reason is because in A Cup of Happy, I learned that our happiness often is very, very deep-rooted in our relationships. And that's really what soul music is all about. You know, it's like a therapy session, isn't it? You know, you're really tapping into the heart of humans. That's what it is. So I hope that when people hear my songs, I see you're playing the video for You Have Me. That song particularly is a very like empowering song. So if you've gone through something difficult, there's always that like light at the end of the tunnel, the rainbow comes after the storm kind of thing. And I think that is important. We need those songs in our life to help us get through the difficult bits. And we certainly don't want to feel like we're going through the difficult bits on our own. And that's what music is for, to me.
That's so true. Message. It's like a healer, music is. Yeah. So A Cup of Love, can you sing a little bit of it for us?
A Cup of Love?
Just give us a little something. You don't have to give it all away.
Is a podcast. It's like a different, it's like a
That's the name of your podcast.
Of A Cup of Happy.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can't sing the podcast, but you can sing a little bit of something new that you have.
Right.
Give people a preview of what's coming up in Skokie. Would you during Zoom, even during a Zoom?
Give us a little
song. Yes, I can. I'm just thinking, what song should I sing?
Or put you on the spot.
The terrible thing is that I know that we're live on TV, and the song that I just released has cuss words all over it. It's actually a breakup song, so I don't think I would be allowed to do that.
You would have to drop it down right at the cuss word.
Well, people could just wait.
You know, you'd have to.
Yeah, we could be that. We could try to beat for you.
You can beat me out.
No, we can't beat you out. We're not even going to kid.
But stop there, Joss.
Just stop right there.
We got the message.
Come to the gig and you can hear all of my beautiful cuss words.
I was just going to say.
One song where I'm like really like, I wrote this when I was mad. So.
Are you still in that place of anger, or are you in the phase of
I don't think
letting
so.
it go? I don't get that energy from you.
No. And you know, it's funny, isn't it? In relationships, we go, especially when you add kids into the mix. Have you girls got kids?
I have a kid. Yes, I understand. I have a daughter too.
You know what? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about,
I do.
right? So when you have this relationship, you're in with this guy and you're like, oh, let's get married, it's beautiful. And then you add in a child. You're like, oh, why do we want to kill each other? Oh, neither of us have slept. And I need to go in the studio and write this out, you know?
Understood.
If only we could all do that, write it out in studio.
I know.
I want to mention that you're going to be at Skokie's North Shore Center for the Performing Arts Sunday night. Have you been to Chicago many times? Are you looking forward to the show?
I have been to Chicago many a time. The first time I went to Chicago was years ago. I played the House of Blues when I was a kid, and I was like completely amazed. It was crazy. It was a crazy trip. And I met a lady called Oprah. That was really crazy. And then recently, I was in Chicago to do Empire. I did a little tiny thing on Empire. That was really fun too. I love Chicago. It's a great city.
It is a great city.
It is fun.
What is since you've been touring for quite some time, you've always, gone to different countries, you've been to all types of places all across the world. What's the craziest story that you can tell us on live TV that you've encountered since you've been in the music industry?
TV.
On live TV.
Remember that, Joss. Remember.
We are live. And the craziest story. I don't know what the craziest story is. I suppose I didn't break into Syria. Well, we kind of did. We kind of didn't. Basically, we did a tour where I got a bit obsessed with the fact that a world tour didn't include the world. Okay. And it sort of bothered me. So I decided to right that wrong and play a tour where every single country on planet Earth was included. So that was a bit difficult when it came to the countries that are in turmoil. So I remember going to Syria was difficult, so we ended up going from Erbil, and everyone kept saying, well, you're breaking into the country. Well, not really. It was all a little bit like, oh, are we or aren't we? And there's a whole drama to that story. And then there was going to Libya. They had some militias. Libya isn't really owned by anyone specifically. It's not run by anybody. There's a lot of militias sort of fighting for
control.
Power.
Yeah.
And the day before we went, they were like, well, one militia called the other militia and they said, we're going to bomb the airport, but don't worry, we know about it because we run that airport. I was like, oh, okay, well, can we still come? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. They bombed today. No fatalities, everything's fine, just come in the next day. And my band were like, this sounds very dangerous. Maybe we shouldn't do that. And it was a weird thing. You have to put like your life in the hands of somebody else. And then when you get to those places, you realize that they're just living like that. It's very normal. They're like, yeah, it's fine. Last Wednesday they sent a bomb over, but no one got hit. It's all good. Let's just take a different route. And it's like, wow, they're very calm about that. I feel like I wouldn't be calm about that. But I think you can't comment on the energy of a place and the environment until you've been there. And the people were so sweet. And we went to a little park and played some music. The ladies came with their kids. They were so pleased that somebody had actually come. It was just a really special thing to do in places that have been forgotten. Or ignored, or people are too afraid to go, or they don't want to go because there's no money, they can't get paid. Like, there's a lot of reasons why we choose certain places to gig. And I'm really glad I've had those experiences. And there are some crazy stories, but it's a beautiful world full of beautiful people, And that's just the truth. I know because I've seen it.
I think that's part of your story, too, to be able to tell.
You could tell stories for days.
Right.
Well, that's part of it. You said that you have been doing this since you were really young, so you've grown up in the spotlight. Do you think it shaped you in a good way? It seems like you're very light. You have great positivity, vibrations coming from you, even through Zoom. So it seems like it's been almost like a good thing for you. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think it's been good. I've got a good family, you know. I think I come from good stock. They're very, like, you know, not so dramatic. It's just very keep your feet on the ground kind of thing. And I think without that, maybe I would have gone off into a world of madness. I like to spiral into madness when I'm feeling it emotionally on stage. It's like when you're acting, you have to cut at some point and be normal. You know, let's just be normal. It's only music, people. We don't have to get crazy. We're not different from anybody else. We're just making noises that people happen to like, and that's it. And giving a bit of good feeling to people, that's the job. And it's 90 minutes of respite, not just for the people that come to the show, but it's 90 minutes for me too, you know. There's 24 hours in a day, and that's a lot of travel. At the moment, I'm away from 3 of my kids. I have 1 with me because I'm her food. And there's, you know, touring is like, there's hardships in it, but it's like you get to that stage and it's beautiful. And you realize there is a reason for this. There is a purpose for these stories to be told. And it's just a lot of love in the room, in a way. It's sort of like church, isn't it?
I love that you love the art. Let me pose this question to you. What changed about you musically when you became a mom?
Oh, God. I don't really know. I haven't made an album since. Have I made an album? Oh, yes, I have. That's so not true. I've made 2 albums. I don't think anything changed about me musically, honestly. I think that things changed about me as far as like timekeeping. So I'd be like, I'm coming to the studio at this time and I'm leaving at 4:30, you know, rather than leaving at 4:30 in the morning, I'm leaving at 4:30 in the day. So whereas before I would just let the music wash over me and I would just stay up all night. I'm a real night owl, big time night owl. And now I'm like, no. If I have to leave my kids, I really want to get back to them so I can do dinner, do bath, you know. I don't mind missing lunchtime, but I do mind missing anything else. So that, I suppose, has changed how I make music. And I think the producers that I've worked with for years are a little bit like shocked by that. They're like, hang on a minute. What? Are you going? Yes, I'm going. Yes.
You want to be present. You want to be present for your kids. I get it.
I want to be there with my babies, you know?
You've been
They're the
such
whole
a
point.
joy, Joss. If people want to come and watch you on Sunday in Skokie, are there still tickets available?
Yeah, come on by. Come on by. And also, we're doing a little VIP thing, so you can add it to your ticket and come and have a chat. Oh. And I like that. So basically, the VIPs will come to the sound check. They can listen to us sound checking, and we sing a couple songs. And I might sing some songs that I have been asked to by whoever has bought the VIP package. And then we'll just chat. And I like that, because sometimes the fans will tell me stories, or they'll ask me to tell them something, but it's nice because they'll be like, I saw you 15 years ago and this is my daughter and it's her first gig, and, you know, do you have any advice for blah, blah, blah. It's just really chill and really, I like it because it's really human. I like that part.
Oh, how exciting.
It's been really good to talk to you. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Hopefully I'll see you girls at the gig.
We hope to see you.
Have a good day.
Bye, ladies.
Bye. See you soon. Okay, again, Joss Stone will be at Skokie's North Shore Center for the Performing Arts on September 28th, which is this Sunday.
That's going to be a good one. I have a feeling.
All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. Look up, you might see a bird migration coming by over the city of Chicago. Actually, we just saw a lot. Good timing. We are talking about how it's impacted by our city, and we are going to bring in expert Bob Dolgan to help us understand what this means for Chicago and what we can all do to protect these migrating birds. Thank you so much for joining the program.
It's great to be with you.
Bob, let's start with this. What exactly is happening when we talk about peak migration for birds?
Sure. So basically, many birds migrate. Probably the vast majority of our species in North America migrate between northern latitudes headed to the south at this time of year. And so this is a time of year where a lot of birds are on the move and looking to get to their winter haunts, not quite like a resort or anything like that, but usually down south, somewhere warmer before the extreme cold sets in. And really the reason for that is they're chasing food. So basically we don't have, we're not going to have the insects around in the winter that they need, or the berries and seeds and other things like that make birds do what they do. So basically right now we're having a lot of birds move through the area, and not only up, but, even around us, close to the ground, just in our backyards and parks, all over the place, forest preserves. A lot of different birds are on the move right now, and it's a great time of year to be outside.
So what's kind of, the dangers for these birds as they come over a big city like Chicago?
Sure. So birds are hardwired to head south, and that predates Chicago even existing and our beautiful skyline and all the glass buildings. And so birds are wanting to move along Lake Michigan and find places to rest, places with food sources. And the challenge, however, being that we have all these big buildings and other structures that are in the way in this highly developed, amazing metropolis that we live in, and that can be a challenge for birds. And so the one thing that comes up often is running into glass windows. That birds are sometimes distracted or really actually attracted to the lights that might be in a building at night. And that leads them to run. They don't see the glass, which is a very unnatural thing to have in our habitat or in their ecosystem, and they run into the glass, and that can often be a challenge with injuries. There was a big event, unfortunately, 2 years ago outside McCormick Place on the south side, where we lost about 1,000 birds. And so that really collisions for birds are kind of one of the top 5 or 6 reasons that numbers have overall declined. But at the same time, this is a great time to see a lot of birds, even in your smallest parks, in your most urban of areas. And it's a testament to how resilient they are and how many there are still with us, that any of us can see some quite amazing birds that fly all the way from Canada down to, say, Mexico, Central America, and South America.
Bob, this is kind of a two-part question. So what can Chicagoans do specifically in their homes to make sure that these birds don't run into maybe their high rise that they're living in? And then the other part of that is for the birds that are traveling, if they do get injured, if we do see, we don't want to see a mass casualty incident, but for the birds that may run into these buildings, what does that mean for the entire ecosystem when something like what happened at McCormick Place takes place?
Sure. What people can do is turn out their lights at night, sort of during the time frames that you might imagine, from about 11 p.m. to 6 or 7 in the morning. So birds actually migrate a lot at night, and not just owls are active during the evening hours, but many species of birds. And so another thing is especially with the larger buildings, the commercial buildings, the residential buildings, is to ask building managers to install bird-friendly glass or put patterns on the windows that will create some absorb some of that light and ensure that birds don't just fly right into the glass, and those can be visual cues for preventing that. And so there's also yeah, those are a few ways that jump out right away. But yeah, as far as your question as to the ecosystem, the reasons so there's a study that came out in 2019 that shared how we have 3 billion fewer birds than we did in 1970, and the study highlighted a number of reasons for that. One of which is glass window collisions, but also habitat loss. Just that there are fewer places because so much of our land is developed. Chicagoland is such a massive area that's been so developed. It's taken up a lot of habitat that we once had for birds, and also pesticides, fertilizers, things like that can lead to illness or death, and but also things like cats. Even our wonderful favorite our fur babies, our cats, if they get out into our backyards, can take a lot of birds. So there are a lot of reasons why birds have been on the decline, but there are also steps people can take. Like any of us can plant a few things in our yards that attract birds, keep our pets indoors. There are a few things that I've seen even in my own backyard, like where there's just more activity. There's more insects, sometimes more mosquitoes, which isn't always fun, but that's actually a very good thing for birds and for wildlife. Also a lot of bees, which we need too. So.
I have one maybe silly question for you real quick, Bob, because we're running out of time. Sure. People are in one of our big forest preserves, in one of our parks, and they see a flock of birds, and maybe they're tempted to feed them with some seeds. Should you? Should you not?
Yeah. Yeah, not a silly question at all. I would probably be cautious about that, especially, birds are going to find what they need generally. I mean, I try to personally only feed birds more in the winter months when, there just might be a little bit more scarcity of food around. So I don't think that's really necessary. I mean, you can see a lot of birds without necessarily doing that. And once we get into things like bread or more human food, that becomes challenging, where it's known to not be a healthy thing for birds. So also probably against forest preserve regulations to do that, to be quite honest. So it's not maybe the wisest thing to do, but backyard bird feeding generally I feel is a little bit more okay. So
Bob, final question: when does this migration season end? Real quickly.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's fall migration, and I would say by the end of October, we're going to really see a lot fewer birds moving through. You're going to have more of your resident birds sticking around, and a few birds that call this area their wintering grounds, who come down from the way Arctic, and they find Chicago to be a nice place to spend the winter. So really by the end of October, things will be slowed down a bit. So I recommend getting out in the next month or so, and seeing what we have to offer here in this beautiful fall weather. So
thank you,
Bob. Thank you so much. We're gonna have to come in person again, because I know this is a continuing conversation.
It is.
Happy Friday to you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, come out and we'll go birding together too sometime.
We can do it.
There you go.
Sure.
I need to learn a little something. I know Mike Kaplan downstairs knows a lot.
Take care, Bob.
Mike knows a lot.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. All right, and thank you so much for joining us here on Chicago Now. This has been a heck of a week, hasn't it?
We'll be back on Monday.
Yeah, have a great weekend.
Breaking at noon, we're live with 10